Hej, witam was serdecznie na moim kanale w kolejnym odcinku z Genshin Impact. Lecimy dalej, jak widzicie, piękna Miko nasza, lecimy dalej ze story od Raiden Shogun. Ustawmy sobie Eulę, w razie czego wiem, Jula się mówi, ja wolę Eula. A chciałam pozbierać!
We're finally here. The entrance should be nearby.
Okej. Ale ładna brama. I kwiatki. Sakury.
Whoa! Where'd that Torii gate come from?
Raczej nie czuję się dobrze.
Getting worse again. But it's fine. I'm happy. I'm about to put an end to it all.
O czym ty mówisz, kochana?
This is a place I once sealed off with my own hands. The entrance to Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness.
Przecież ona nie żyje, Mako, to twoja siostra, czy ja czegoś?
It looks like she will no longer allow me to do with this body as I please.
O co chodzi? Nie do końca rozumiem. Przecież było, że ona nie zdążyła. Zdążyła się tylko pożegnać z nią właśnie w tym świecie. I co? Okazuje się, że ona wzięła jej ciało?
What are you talking about? And who is she? Makoto?
Cześć mi dużo powiedział.
Follow me.
Where are we go?
A ja chciałam pozbierać! Te moje kamyczki. Ja fioletowych kamyczków potrzebuję dla broni od ja... Znaczy nie broni od ja, jakiejkolwiek broni, która się nadaje pod nią.
We get sucked into this time. Whoa. This place.
Wygląda trochę lepiej od miejsca, w którym pierwszy raz spotkaliśmy Raiden.
Look over there. It's another A.
O, wow. Rodzaj jaźni.
We meet again, traveler.
O, Raiden Shogun. Czyli to jest Raiden Shogun, to jest EI, ale Raiden Shogun to Makoto, czy what the
This
hell?
body is an assistant to the one within, but it is also the guardian of the rules. Should the one within wish to stray from the rules, this body shall stand in her way.
Wait. Paimon knows that voice. Is that the puppet?
You have wandered the realm in my body, and you appear to have grasped the true essence of eternity.
Ululu.
You believe your present self has greater certainty than your former self. Thus, you believe your present self is correct, don't you? But have you really been enlightened with new ideas? Or have you been degraded by irreversible erosion?
No ta Shogun to mi się nie podoba, bo już
I'm here to show you my answer. We are both warriors, and the dialogue we must now have shall be conducted by the blade alone.
Wait. The atmosphere in here just took a turn for the worse.
Paimon, przymknij się w tej sytuacji. Nie pomożesz nikomu.
Are you all right now?
The discomfort I was experiencing earlier was caused by the Shogun rejecting my continued use of her body. As she indicates, once I started entertaining the idea of change, I became hostile in her eyes.
Ululu.
But inside a realm of consciousness, I exist independently of her. She cannot affect me in this way. Though she is a puppet, the Shogun has her own consciousness too. When necessary, she appears here to confront me.
Paimon gets that everyone has their internal battles and stuff, but not like this. It's a bit extreme.
A, zgadzam się tu z tą.
Showdown with the Shogun? Never thought we'd see that day.
The rules I set for the Shogun are... No. The Shogun herself is the manifestation of my past ideals. The
No to
very
zlikwidować ją i
foundation
zostańmy
stone of
w
eternity. It shall not be easily swayed. I would not try to change her if it wasn't necessary.
Isn't there any other way? Can't you talk it through or something?
Raczej nie.
They both just want the best for Inazuma.
form is a symbol of supreme majesty, in which has been vested power over all the realm. It is the cohesive embodiment of all that constitutes the Raiden Shogun.
Ooh la
It
la.
inherits A's pain, the pain of inevitable loss that comes as she moves forward. So too does it inherit her determination to reach eternity. Every action undertaken is for the sake of resisting erosion.
Ooh la la.
Determination, courage, love, hatred. All of these will be degraded and distorted by the incessant flow of time.
Yo yo yo.
Only rules shall remain. Those were my thoughts when I created you. Now, they are towering obstacles that I have no choice but to overcome. You wish to make yourself my enemy?
Oh la la.
I am your past, the everlasting law, the guardian of eternity.
Robi
And
się nie
I
czyta.
am she who promised a dream to her subjects. Raiden A. In the end, even the proud and
LOL,
mighty
walczę
Oni
ją.
maiden was cut down and disgraced.
Jezus Maria. Nie, nie, przed nią gram w Gaia.
Though your blade has been cleansed of her blood and filth, never shall it shine as brightly as it once did. Weak. Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal. Illusion shattered. Sweeps the lands. The Kitsune Sakura blossoms that once filled the skies fell to the ground as
To jest nie fair, że ty
rain.
się leczysz, babo. Dobra, wzmocnimy trochę Raidenkę naszą. I użyjemy sobie tego.
As long
A
as
to
the
jest nie
ley
fair.
lines glow, the relentless
Raiden
erosion of time
Inazuma
will never
Kono.
stop.
Magenatsu mi takiego na rukami na Mikoto. O Jezus Maria, dłuższego tutaj nie miałaś przyjemność.
There is no escape. Your verdict is decided. The divine lightning that envelops all of Inazuma will fade silently into the clouds. There shall never be another. Never. For the rest of time. Stillness transcending. Now you shall perish. Be gone. Youth, I'm here.
Kokanowa! Zajebiste.
Have you finally defeated her?
It appears your martial prowess has not dulled. But how long can your will remain strong?
O la la.
In this realm of consciousness, her existence is tenacious indeed. She was built to resist erosion. Her will is stronger than any other living being's, including you and me.
Ujajaj.
Does that mean this is gonna be a never-ending battle?
Maybe. But I have to prove to her that my present will is no product of erosion. The future I shall forge will be a grand undertaking. One that will be resistant to erosion. If I don't do this, the Shogun's rules can never change, and Inazuma can never move forward. This is my duty. No matter how long this battle may last. Months, years, centuries.
Wow, wow.
And no matter how many times we must fight 500 years ago, humanity proved their strength in battle. Here in the present, they rely on their ambition to challenge wayward practices, tear them out like the diseased wood of an old sakura tree, so that new, healthy branches might spring to life in their place. It is about time that I learned to trust them. I understand that. But if the dreams of which Makoto spoke are true eternity, a short moment for which the Shogun does not exist is nothing to fear. I fight for the everlasting future of Inazuma. However long the battle may last, it is but a drop in the ocean of eternity. I vow to the subjects of Inazuma that I shall one day return. This is my oath. Please. Please, be my witness.
Ej.
During my absence, I place everything in Miko's hands.
But this means that...
Pass on my words.
LOL, wyrzuciła nas. Kochana, tak się nie wyrzuca ludzi. No do świadomości, no można, ale i tak się nie wyrzuca tak ludzi.
Looks like we got kicked out.
No dokładnie, zostaliśmy wykopani.
Are we really just gonna leave A and the Shogun to keep on duking it out? She was making sense. And maybe this is the only way to change the Shogun's rules, but still,
Paimon, zgadzam się z tobą.
right? Also, A can be pretty stubborn at times and has a history of rushing into difficult situations.
Dokładnie.
What if she gets too obsessed with winning and she forgets why she's there in the first place? It could happen. And then she might never leave. Yeah, we should help her out, like we did. Is there
Dobra,
any way
dobra,
we
Paimon.
can cut
Koniec
down
gadki,
how long
bo
she
ty za
needs to
dużo
spend in
gadasz,
there?
Paimon.
Or, you know, help her win. Well, whatever. We can't let any. Oh, but we also. Okay, well, first things first. We gotta find a way back in. Oh, come on, brain juice. Don't feel Paimon now.
O, dokładnie, idziemy do Miko, bo ty, Paimon, raczej nie wymyślisz, jak się tam dostać. A teraz? Serio? Znowu mnie wykopało, ja chcę pozbierać. Oni są po prostu niedobrzy. Oni są wredni dla mnie, nie dadzą mi pozbierać kryształku. No trudno.
Someone's not in the best of moods.
Mamy
let
się
me
cieszyć z tego, co się
You're
stało.
all tangled up in another
Nie wiem, nic
situation
takiego
and
się nie
need me
stało,
to
ale jednak
unravel
trochę
it
mi
for
jej
you.
szkoda.
I hope you realize how lucky you are. If it was anyone else, I don't think I'd have the patience to keep greeting them with a smile after the first few times.
You're always smiling.
That was a figure of speech. Do you understand? Nitpicking my turns of phrase.
Oh, yeah. Something really big's happened.
Oh, okay, I see. So, A's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce battle that doesn't even have an end date. Impossibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable. Presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like A all right. You know as well as I do that she's always been like this. Why start fretting about it now? Rushed into it without thinking. Well put. Oh, she acts like such a child sometimes.
O Boże, jak ta jaje to mówi,
So
to
you seem to
takie...
be under the impression that I am able to offer some sort of help?
Brzmi to tak, takie
gave you that
dziecko
idea?
dla niej ona jest. O. Ja, to jest taka prawdziwa lisica, naprawdę. Nawet ma charakter lisicy, taki podstępny trochę.
Dumb. She's doing this on purpose, for sure.
Aha, you're learning, little one. But really, the truth of the matter is that I don't know much more about Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness than you do. All I
Hihi.
know is that it's the foundation of the sacred Sakura, and from what I've heard, it's a little different from A's plane of euthymia.
Because Raiden Makoto is no longer alive?
Not just because of that. The nature of the space itself is different in some way. But I can only speculate. You're the ones who have actually been there, so you tell me. What was it like? Anyway, we needn't worry about the details too much. It'll just be a little difficult to explain things later on, that's all. First things first. Follow me to...
Znowu! Ale słuchaj, jak mi tym razem nie pozwolicie zebrać, to się wścieknę. Chyba nie pozwolą. Nie wiem, ja już wolę w razie czego tego. Idziemy po to małe najpierw, bo tam pewnie mnie wywali znowu. O proszę, mamy, uzbieramy. Nie! Próbowałam skręcić na bok. Nie da
Now
się,
then,
nie da
I
się.
always have my ways. It's just a question of how crafty I need to be. To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm A's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts. In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm,
So, it's abstract, but has a
Dobrze,
Yes.
wiemy,
No
może
need
nas
to
gdzieś
try and
wywalić
understand.
daleko.
Everything is-
Dobra,
this is
przyspieszmy
precise.
troszeczkę gadkę.
Alright.
Suit yourself. Oh,
Paimon,
well,
ty
if you're
lepiej nie
quite
gadaj z
sure,
Miko.
then of course.
Ty nie rozumiesz w ogóle Miko.
I see. Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinary. By the way, remember to focus. Only a strong enough will can prevent. Well
Okej,
then,
dam
the
sobie
door's
radę.
open. Hop on in. I'll stay outside and provide what stability I can. I'm placing my god in your capable hands. For my sake and for Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
O, czyli zależy ci jednak na niej.
You better know what you're doing.
That's enough chatter.
I znowu nie pozwolili, ale potem na pewno się uda. Zobaczycie, bo tam jest kuleczka do zebrania. Przebicie level statuły. Mówi mi to zajebisty. Ale trochę jest przerażający.
Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Paimon po prostu odpadł. Ale filmik A te się dalej tłuką. Jej! Ale przynajmniej nam się udało dotrzeć tam, gdzie mieliśmy. Nie wykopuj nas od razu. Daj nam powiedzieć 2-3 słowa.
How can this be? You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in... This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then. Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration too.
No dobra, już skończcie
You
tą
bring
walkę, co
honor to
panie?
the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel. The conclusion to that which began 500 years ago. Final duel? So you're finally willing to stand back, traveler. I'm going to be the start of something new.
Ooh la la.
The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the
No,
rise
bo-
and fall of nature.
No wy sobie robicie, kochani, jaja. Znowu walczę sama, no. Wow!
Energy they consume, great enough to vaporize the oceans and turn day into night. And the will they demand, sufficient to penetrate minds and crush dreams. Yet, you have endured. I will endure forever.
No dobra, to dosyć łatwo poszło. Ale też ją wzmocniłam trochę.
This is the end. You have won.
Yes! Ej, wygrała.
I
Dobrze.
believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit.
Dokładnie.
But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future. And you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, My reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Muso Ishin. The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me.
To gdzieś musiałam
encourage me.
przeoczyć, chyba że nie było mowa. To jest miecz
I noticed it
Makoto,
also.
czyli dlatego ona
Just
go ma,
now in the
czyli
heat of battle,
bronią
it seemed
Raiden
to
Shogun,
unleash a new and
aka
unfamiliar
Raiden
power.
Ei jest po prostu włócznia, a Raiden Makoto miała miecz, czyli elektromiecz, a ona była elektrowłócznia.
This power is
I
beyond
jako
the limits of my
ma ten
understanding.
miecz, bo ma go w sobie, to jest jedyna rzecz, która jej
This
została po
blade
Makoto.
belonged to Makoto.
O, The Perpetual Shogun
Perhaps it
nawet
can only
napisali.
respond to me with its full power when I truly understand and believe in her. When I clasped Muso Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar
To
feeling.
jest straszne, niezależnie czy oni
strange
są
one.
archonami, czy zwykłymi ludźmi, to jest po prostu
Makoto
nieprzyjemne,
barely wielded a blade in
strasznie
her
okrutne,
life,
jak tracą najbliższe.
and yet
Ale niestety
blade
nic o
brings me
Dejcie znowu
closer
nie
to her.
dowiedzieliśmy o Kanri. Tylko tyle, że
You
Makoto
have
tam
my
za nią się
approval.
udała, mimo że nie była bardziej dyplomatą niż wojowniczką. I
your present
zginęła,
will is
a
not the
ona
product
tylko
of
przybyła w
erosion.
ostatniej chwili, żeby wejść w
I shall no
jej
longer
świadomość,
stop
żeby się z
you
nią
from attempting
pożegnać.
to modify the
Więc
rules.
praktycznie nie dowiedziała się, bo no wiadomo, w ostatniej chwili to raczej nie będą gadali, co się wydarzyło tam, tylko pożegnać się.
From this day forth,
Ale no dobra,
This
może,
body will
może
remain
od
your
kolejnego
assistant.
Archona, Dendro, coś się dowiemy więcej o Kanri. Albo od naszego
I won't
brata, jeśli on
design
zacznie
any more
gadać
rules
w
that
końcu,
can
bo
never be changed.
raczej mi to wygląda na to, że z bratem się spotkamy, czy też niektórzy z was z siostrą, dopiero jak się skończy walka ze wszystkimi Archonami, poznamy wszystkich Archonów, zwiedzimy wszystkie nacje i dopiero pewnie wtedy ruszy to.
You
O,
used
może
to represent
wcześniej.
my
Ale on
past,
kazał nam odbyć podróż
from
tą
today
samą, którą on
onward,
odbył.
you are me.
Ale kiedy on ją odbył, skoro najgorsze uczucie na świecie to mieć włos koci w buzi.
Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon.
A to jest ciekawe, on
Likewise,
kazał nam odbyć
I should not
podróż, nie?
regard you
Tą
as a
samą,
mere
którą
tool.
on przeżył i że jak dojdziemy do końca tej podróży, to poznamy prawdę o tym świecie. Okej. A to on musiał odbyć wiele, wiele lat wcześniej, przed istnieniem praktycznie Jin i całej tej reszty, no bo oni nie znają go, nie widzieli go. Bo to jakby go widzieli chociaż raz, to by powiedzieli, o, ty wyglądasz podobnie do kogoś, kogo kiedyś
You
widzieliśmy.
truly have changed.
Albo jak ona, nasza postać
suppose
mówi,
this
że
is
szuka
what
brata,
humans
to
call
o, widzieliśmy kogoś
growth.
podobnego do ciebie. Ale skoro minęło 500 lat od Kanri, to on mógł przeżyć tą podróż podczas Kanri lub jakiś czas po Kanri, albo przed Kanri,
understand.
skoro
I
obudził
shall
on
become
nas.
your shadow, just as you were once
Dziwne, to
Makoto's
jest
shadow.
skomplikowane, mam tak za bardzo. Przy Raiden Shogun to zrobiło mi się tak już skomplikowane,
duties I
że ja
perform
nie
will
muszę
not
rozumieć 400%. Nie jest okej.
But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future. Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat? It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
O, on chyba w końcu doszły do jakiegoś porozumienia, no to zajebiście.
Finished fighting then? Like, for real this time?
To chyba tak, Paimon, nie trzeba pytać o to.
Hello, A. And greetings, those who have come to bear witness.
Makoto!
I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces.
Makoto?
I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released.
O.
A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said.
Głos Makoto mi się bardziej podoba.
There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me.
But you never mentioned this to me.
Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness.
Did you know what was about to happen in Conria?
I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime.
Aww.
But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way.
Don't look down on me.
Aww.
See? You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain. Here, take it. Before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
Dokładnie. A tu jest tu. O, Coming?
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh?
Is it really?
Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred Sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh?
O Jezu, jak to ładnie wygląda.
Goodbye, Makoto.
O Jezu, łezka mi się zakręciła. O, ale dobrze, że chociaż jakaś cząstka Ei została.
So
Boże,
the A
jakaś
of the
cząstka Makoto
present
została
planted the
dzięki temu
sacred Sakura
Ei
in the
troszkę
realm of
użyła.
consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past. No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
A place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. So that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problem. And yet, that sense of disorderliness.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything, it's that seed.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
I starot?
Without the
Nie wiem,
sacred
czemu tylko
Sakura,
nie było głosu akurat.
Inazuma would likely have
Dziwne.
been completely swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about
Ona
the
jest
sacred
piękna.
Sakura,
Ona zresztą też.
but to
Nasza
me,
postać
it
też
has
jest
always
nawet
been
fajna.
there.
Ale mogłaby zmienić skin.
You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred Sakura and Makoto's consciousness. But unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No. But I understand why now. It was because the sacred Sakura hadn't even been planted then.
But don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
What?
The sacred Sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Aha.
Ugh. Now we see who's pulling the strings.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears, and obviously it's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not? Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you? At that time, I could sense A's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but
Dobrze,
it
że
took
wszystko się
everyone's efforts
ułożyło.
combined to ultimately help
I że
A.
Ej już jest bezpieczna,
So this
doszła do
time,
porozumienia ze
It
swoim
looks like thanks are
tupetem.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel?
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside.
Dobra, kochani,
My first thought was,
skrócimy ich gadkę teraz, bo
it
trochę
turned
długo
out
trwa
you had
filmik.
come. You too have my thanks.
A, how are you
Yes,
feeling now?
czkawka
My
była.
body has fully recovered, and the Shogun.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really after all. You saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw. I'll be fine. I have
Pewnie,
to
że
say,
będziesz dobrze.
this
Nie
has
martw się,
reminded me
ej.
once again just
Najważniejsze,
how
że w ogóle
brilliant
Makoto się
Makoto
pokazała,
was.
że porozmawiała z
She
tobą
predicted all
i
the
dała
ways
ci
in
trochę
which
nadziei na
Inazuma's
lepsze
speech.
jutro.
She even it's all thanks to her that I just planted a seed.
Yeah, it was thanks to everything you.
Thank you.
Today, at long last, Makoto and you.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you.
Oh, come on.
Makoto said the exact.
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder.
Typowa
Does that
lisica.
qualify me to maybe
O,
take the. Actually, no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
We will have to end the frivolities there. The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, after that,
Really?
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. I don't doubt that many challenges I'm looking
dobrze.
for.
I dobrze, w końcu. Inazuma pójdzie do przodu. Mamy koniec questa, kochani. I mamy nowego... Ja na to mówię czasami World Boss, ale po prostu mamy Dream Sakura, ale to chyba nie będzie ten. Mamy po prostu nowego... Gdzie to jest? Weekly Bossa.
Time to scout.
Idziemy po te. I nowy Wiki Boss. Ja jeszcze nie robiłam Wiki Bossów w tym tygodniu, więc na pewno robię tylko 3 bossy, Wiki Bossy. Nie muszę za bardzo, raczej musiałabym Boreasa zrobić wilczka. Ale dużo roboty przy nim jest, jak się samemu, a niestety to trzeba robić samemu. A ja jestem trochę leniwą osobą, jak zauważyliście zresztą. Ale chyba po prostu O Jezu, mam zmieniony znowu. Gdzie to jest? Gdzie to jest? To. Switch. Hehehehe. A co to jest? I słabo. No. Ale mamy tu drugiego. Haha. Wow. A to ja tej
What do
skrzynki
we
się
have
nie
here?
spodziewałam. Wow. Wow. Ale wejście jest po prostu zajebiste, nie? Jak to tutaj wygląda? Jakie rzeczy są w ogóle? Aha, te 3 rzeczy są. No dobra. A to będziemy robić. Dobrze, kochani, to będzie na tyle w dzisiejszym odcinku. Mam nadzieję, że Wam się podobało. Jak tak, zostawcie łapki w górę, subskrypcje, komentarze mile widziane. Zapraszam Was na mojego Discorda, na inne filmiki z Genshina, wishowania, jak i innych gier czy unboxingów. Życzę Wam miłego dnia, trzymajcie się, hejo!